Hello, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Ross.
And I'm Patrice.
Still?
Yes.
Oh, you've been European for months now.
I have. You know, I'm a citizen of the world.
It was just before we started, I seen you brushing them croissant flakes off the t-shirt.
Aren't we all citizens of the world?
Yeah, tiny, really strong little coffee.
Yeah, I mean, like people,
really embracing it.
It's not for me. It's not a continental breakfast. It's just breakfast.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
See, that's how deep in he is.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
You'll know when he's German. You know, he goes through a German phase around about lunchtime because he gets his sausage out.
There we
Yes.
go.
Oh, I tell you what, I've been watching.
It's the worst.
I've been watching.
I've missed you guys. I really have. It's been 3 weeks and my weeks have been normal.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
So, on the subject of being European, I've been watching Emily in Paris with my girlfriend. And
Through by choice.
Yeah. Oh,
Hello,
Bella.
Belle.
Yeah,
I'm Bella.
There we go.
Hello, baby girl.
Oh, what did you have to? Did you bring her any treats?
Somewhere. I think she's got some knocking around somewhere.
You
Yeah.
can have some in a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, good girl.
That's good. We put treats on that table like once, twice.
Yeah.
And it's worked a treat. So there we go. Yes. So we're watching Emily in Paris, and there's so many cliches and bits in it. Like, you don't have to have any idea about how a show works to be like, oh, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. I was like, there must be a drinking game for this. And there's an Emily in Paris drinking game. So whenever I watch it, I crack open a bottle of wine and just completely hammered by the end of it.
I read a review that said that Emily in Paris is like watching a young girl with her Barbie dolls making up in scenarios of things going on with them.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's terrible, but everyone looks amazingly attractive, and they're all in super fashionable clothes. And
I don't know. I didn't get past that audition.
Yeah, I think the French tourism board have probably thrown like a lot of money at Netflix, just gone make Paris look really good. I feel like Emily in Paris has done more for Paris than the Olympics
I thought
did.
you were going to say that, yeah.
But they do show Parisians as like being a bit just like, oh, just fuck off. But then some of them are really nice. There's a lady that she buys croissants from, and she helps her with her French. But anyway, Warhammer.
I've never even heard of Emily in Paris.
Well, there you go.
Maybe
one thing
I'm
about this
doing
show,
it right.
you're always learning.
I think, but essentially, I think I'm in season 2 at the minute, but it's a 4-season will they, won't they, with a chef, a French chef whose hair gets worse through the seasons.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Sounds okay. Warhammer.
Yes.
So
Sounds like something to avoid.
Yeah. So you were in to quote a famous musical, The Room Where It Happened.
what musical's that from?
Hamilton.
Oh, okay. You can see how educated
So
I'm not. I
cultured,
know.
isn't he?
Tell me
He's so
about it. Oh, wow. Yes, I was in a room.
Yes.
Or I was in a room next door to a room.
Okay.
And yeah, I heard the cheer.
So you were at Nova.
The one cheer.
So you were at Nova, and you saw firsthand
Yeah.
the wonderful. I'm still in positive mode.
Yes, you were last time. You were so positive last time.
I said I'm not allowed to be negative about
Yeah.
anything because I'd moaned a bit too much, I think. So super positive about these amazing, vague. I loved how vague they were.
Yeah.
Roadmaps. What was the boots on the ground? We had a reporter in the field. What was it like?
I was at work. Like, what was really good is, like, we were sat, so there was a big round auditorium, and there was, like, a main door, then some far doors, then the doors to where we were as the vendors.
Yeah.
And me and Byron were sort of sat facing these side doors of this auditorium, and you could just walk through. But we were working, we were doing dry brushing demos for the people wandering around, and then we were like, oh, it's starting, and blah, blah, and bring it up online and go through to the next room. And I thought, you know what, it's quiet, I'm going to have a nip in. So I got in just at the beginning. I was only there for 5 minutes. Got into the room just at the beginning to see the Blood Bowl reveal with the Chaos Dwarf and the goblins.
Yeah,
and they
good.
came up.
Big hat.
Massive
Yay.
applause. Woo! That was the last cheer. That was audibly the last cheer I heard in that room. So staying positive though.
Yes.
A lot of people who went to that event got an early night. Because there were we did see there wasn't an exodus, but yeah, there were a few people disappointed and leaving. Because you go there, you want to see models, don't you? You want to see something.
Yeah.
But if you don't see something, I think the best way, and I don't know if you've talked about this on any of the other shows, because I haven't had time to watch.
Yeah, why would you watch it?
But no, like the best way I saw the presentation summarized was somebody online who just put, that was a meeting that could have been an email. which is, yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Things are happening. Things are happening. And
Yes.
yeah, there was nothing to see. Now, if they'd have come up and said, instead of Eldar, they'd have come up saying, warp spiders. Like, if that text had been up there,
Yeah.
I'd have cared. But it wasn't.
Yes.
It was just Eldar. More Eldar. I'm hoping warp spiders. I think we're all hoping warp spiders. But at this
They're
point, it'll
30
be...
years old now,
Yeah.
so yeah, they
Because
may be just about due.
everything's made so far in advance.
Yeah.
18 months at least, I think, is, they're painted by the heavy metal, they're photographed, they get everything and so on and so forth. There's
the
no
number you
there's,
hear,
there's
isn't
no
it?
way in like 5 months' time they don't know what's being released.
Yeah.
It's such a weird change to how it used to
Yeah.
be. There used to be mini. Now you got Games Day. They used to have, the big.
What's
to be
that?
Games Day used to be Warhammer's Games of Workshops. It used to be their big once a year show.
Where was that?
Go to. Back then, the last one I went to was at the Birmingham Arena. That was in the centre
Oh,
of
yeah,
Birmingham.
they don't do UK events anymore.
No, yeah,
so,
that's right. Yeah, that'll be the one.
Sorry,
but,
just being a bit...
so it used to
I'm
be
still
Games
gutted.
Day, and it used to be a big event because the shops used to sell tickets at the shop, and people used to go on. Kids were going on a coach, and it was like
Yeah.
a big,
right,
a big
wow.
deal. But they used to do, for people who couldn't make it to them, they used to do like a mini one of them at Warhammer World. And I remember being at one of them when the main honcho for 40k was a guy called Andy Chambers. And it was literally a slideshow of going, here's what's coming out in the next 6 months, or in sometimes further than that. And then he also went into like interesting detail of going, we've made a new Rhino. And he went, how hard I had to fight to get this Rhino made, because he said, I thought the old Rhino looked old, was getting a bit past its best. When I spoke to the bean counters, as he put it, he said, why would we need to update something that still sells really well?
Yeah.
And he said, so the way I got round it was we went, aren't we trying to move away from metal? And they were like, yes. So what about a plastic Predator? Because back then the guns and the sponsons
Oh,
were
they
metal.
were, yeah.
And he went, what about if we did a plastic Predator? And they went, oh, that'd be a good idea because it brings the cost down, and that'd be good. And he said, and that's thank you very much, and that's how you got your new Rhino, was because we built a new Predator, and stuff like that was
he
really
talks about
cool.
that publicly.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's this. He's,
and
he's
now
talking
it's
like back in the 90s, early 2000s. But
Yeah.
Games Workshop are a different company now, though, aren't they? They're
Oh, yeah.
they're a globe.
But Liz, sorry for cutting. Sorry, talking over it. They also, it was like the way they used to do things like that was like the Space Wolf Codex in 3rd edition. When you opened it, had a photograph of the new Land
the
Raider,
models that- yeah.
of the Land Raider before the Land Raider came out.
Yeah.
And now it's this they're terrified now of this. Oh, you gotta keep everything secret, and you're going, who are you worried about?
But they want that drive. Like I remember 2nd edition. I used to use the 2nd edition codex. I don't think I read any of the words. The Chaos Space Marine codex, to look through the pictures in the middle pages and go, oh, I want that. And then as they were released, I'd be like, buy it. And that's how I built my collection, because I didn't care about the game. I just built it around, cool new model. But Warhammer just are a different brand now. They are a global name. They are a corporate company. They're not. Like, let's be fair, we're all a bunch of nerds doing our little nerd thing.
Yeah.
We are. We've proven that. Who was it? Spen, who had his amazing short that got millions of views with his...
Yes.
Do you know how you're a nerd? Because my channel came up in your feed. Like that sort of thing.
And he's dipping a Space Marine into some sand.
In some mud, that's it. And 3 million views to dip a Space Marine into mud. Well done, Spen. Well done.
Yeah, well
well deserved. Great painter. Go follow him on Instagram and YouTube and all that. But yeah, like they are this global brand now, so it's all about pretense and grandeur. They've got to do reveals like Apple would reveal an iPhone, not like, oh yeah, so we sat around a table and we thought, wouldn't it be cool if Custodians were also female, and we thought that'd be cool. Is it Custodian? Yeah, that was the one that we got. And have the conversation. They don't do that. That's not them anymore.
Do you know the
They
thing
are
is
just
though?
different.
I'll argue a point on that of going, they don't want you to be counting down the days till a thing comes out. It's just like bang, here we go. It's very mild, very minor reveal early, and then is the date and it's out. But in our household, we've been waiting on Space Marine 2, and the date of the 9th of September, which ironically is when we're filming today, has been in the calendar, has been in the home calendar, if you will, the mental calendar in our house for months.
I can just imagine your kitchen wall with a calendar on it.
Countdown to
and
Christmas.
Tell you what, you keep flicking through the pages
my youngest child, even though he's not old enough to play it, he's gone, 12 days left. 11 days left. So if the hype, when you can still have hype when you know your release date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they showed trailers months and months ago for Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
Built up the hype, gave you a time.
Over a year ago, because it was meant to come out last year.
Give you a date. And no one's gone, oh, do you know what? I've heard so much about it, I can't be bothered with it. To the point that I was looking to go and buy a hard copy of it today, and you can't get anywhere.
I don't know, but is it different when like at the end of the day? Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I would like to know more in advance so that I can plan my finances better around which models I want to buy. But the problem is with planning, and I see this with 3D printers, the brands don't tell you until 2 weeks before that there's a new one coming, then boom, it's going to be available on this day. Everyone gets hyped, everyone buys it. Yeah. Any longer than that, and you have time to think and consider your expensive purchase and go, maybe that'd be better on food or something like that. And that's it. Like, yeah, you're right. Space Marine 2, we've known about it and we've been looking for that release date, and we've probably had that release date for at least...
We've had that release date, if I'm being conservative about it, at least 6 months.
Yeah. So somewhere in there. But the thing is, it's not like 2 weeks later we're going to have Space Marine 3 or an equivalent, because there just aren't that many good Warhammer games.
No.
There have been on my great ones, Warhammer games that are also good games. I can probably count them on one hand.
And three of them are Dawn of War.
Two of them,
sorry. Two of them are Dawn of War. Yeah.
Dawn of War 3 was terrible.
Sorry, my mistake. You're right. I forgot about 3.
Yeah. But you can Winter Assault as an add-on for the original Dawn of War. We can count that as one of them if you want. So with add-ons both hands, but I can count on one hand the great games. But so we don't get that. So it's like you are hyped for that. You've committed to that.
It's a momentous... I think I can't really understate how much of a momentous time it is that Space Marine 2 has been released. Yeah. It's crazy.
And it's good. Like, it's not only is it a good Warhammer game, and I've said this about Space Marine, everyone goes, Space Marine's great, the original. And it's like, it's good if you're a Warhammer fan. But as a game, it's mash buttons, and the weapons don't particularly feel that different to each other. Like, you pick a las cannon or whatever, or a plasma rifle because you're like, I feel like using this one now. I've used that one for a bit. This one actually has, and less so difference as far as I've currently got in the campaign. I don't want to spoil it, but in the actual PvE and PvP, your character classes do feel different. The weapons feel quite similar. You've got several bolters to pick from, and it's like, I like that they've put them in here, but they
sound very slightly different.
Yeah, they sound different, and they've got a different way of handling. Like, one's a bit more rapid fire, one's a bit more doof doof doof, and one's single shot. And but they're all a bolter. Yeah, and I don't understand why would I want to pick one? Maybe it's different on PC. I'm playing on PlayStation. I do like the. Has anyone used a PS3? So the triggers.
PS3.
Five. The trigger. I'm thinking.
All right, they're retro boy.
Yeah, something like that. The
DeLorean
triggers,
outside, is it?
The triggers dynamically adjust.
Yeah.
So as you've got
a PS5.
Yeah. So and I've not really played many games on it since I've had it, because I got it.
Yeah, because you used to
do Warhammer games.
You can do feedback, can't you? You get feedback, like when we played the game that came with the PS5 built in, Astro.
Oh yeah.
When there was a thing on it where you had to pull something that was elastic, and you could feel the tension in the pads responding.
So it pushes back
against. It pushes back.
Yeah, it's got force feedback. So so if you've got a heavy weapon, you've really got to pull it hard to go to do that. And if it's a light weapon, it's the higher levels of thing, and it's really good. But Space Marine it's good. It's a good game. It's not an amazing game, but it's definitely up there. Like, people who are not Warhammer fans will be able to pick this up and go, yeah, that was enjoyable.
I'd rather they didn't, because then I might stand a chance of being able to get a copy. But anyway,
There we go.
It's been interesting seeing the reviews come out, and some of them that haven't been, they've all said, yeah, it's fine. Like, generally, I think it's been quite well received. Some of the bigger, I think it was like PC Gamer or something like that, gave it like a 6 out of 10.
Oh,
And
really?
then seeing the people underneath it that are obviously Warhammer fans are just going in on them.
Clearly don't
I'm just
even
like,
understand what a start
I
is.
tell you, he's probably a little bit upset, because I think this has been the game that's been standing in for Space Marine. Is I would imagine Helldivers 2 will take an absolute
Do you think?
dive.
I think it's kind of fallen off a cliff already.
Already,
Helldivers 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because my son did say that a lot of things have been nerfed in it, and it's been a bit harder to enjoy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who've been playing Helldivers 2 who are Warhammer fans, and I think even the guy that is like the head guy behind Helldivers 2 is a massive Warhammer fan.
Okay.
So I would imagine once this has come out, it's sort of...
He's clearly a Starship Troopers fan.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would definitely say that. And it would not surprise me if Helldivers was let's try and shop this as a Starship Troopers game. And they said, no, it's like, all right, change the skins.
Yeah.
Because there is one of the criticisms I saw of it from, I think, this sort of fair to middling review was...
What, of Space Marine?
Yeah, Space Marine 2. They were like, there's just not really that much humour in it.
Yeah, you don't know who these guys are.
Yeah,
then, really, if you do.
yeah, and I could definitely, from an outsider perspective, definitely understand. Like, two Marines talking to it. Yes, brother, I would die for these colours, brother. Okay, brother, wonderful. Heresy. You just be like, excuse me.
Yeah, and, you go, and they're a bit stilted, aren't they? Which is why I've always said don't make. That's why I've always said don't make Space Marine telly, because they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
You only can have Space Marines from the point of view of an ordinary person looking at them, going, "Aren't they weird?"
Yeah,
Like,
no, it makes sense. Yeah.
There is later in the campaign, because I couldn't, like, people have been able to, you pay to play it early, don't you?
Is this going to be a big
Are you
spoiler?
going to spoil it for me?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I
'Cause
won't.
I'm not-
I won't. But
right.
there is.
I
there
can't
is
believe near the end Sanguinius comes back. Who knew?
Yes. Yeah. No, because just scrolling on YouTube and stuff, what is in the thumbnails? It's like,
yeah.
that person's in it, and so on and so forth. And it's interesting. Like, we've been quite. I want to be sensitive because I'm not spoiling it for you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
But I know that it will be a week ahead, and we all will have played it since then, and it's
Hopefully.
fine. But there's a line and a situation that mirrors something that happens in the first game, and it just slightly changes, and it's hilarious.
Oh, right, okay.
But it's sort of like it's said in a very dry Space Marine fashion, and if you weren't aware of the first game or into Warhammer that much, then it's great.
As long as it makes you laugh as opposed to makes you roll your eyes, because as much as I loved Alien Romulus, that had a couple of lines in it. That were lines from the first.
And it was just
movie.
like,
Get away from her, you bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
get away
really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Like, honestly, go and, like, what was it I was
But
saying?
do you know what? I don't wish that to be an opinion based and to be based that film on, because I thought it was a great little movie.
Yeah.
I hate when they do that, though. It's like, you don't deserve that line. Like, you do not.
No.
But at the same
Well,
time...
do you know the really funny about it is the really funny bit about that line in Alien Romulus? They're not female aliens.
How do we know?
Well, because the Queen's blatantly in Aliens. The Queen's blatantly the Queen because she's laying eggs, isn't she?
Yeah.
Right.
And then when
Like the
Sigourney
face
Weaver, when
huggers.
Ripley faces off against her,
Yeah.
she knows that's a female alien.
Not necessarily. Male seahorses produce their offspring. See?
Well, the male seahorses.
Welcome
yeah,
to
sort of.
Ross arguing the point.
But
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with the standard aliens, we call them drones or warriors or whatever you want to call them, they are perceived to be a male creature.
Right.
Because they never lay eggs. They're perceived to be a male creature. And they still use the "get away from here, you bitch" line on something that has no discernible reason to understand that it's male or female.
It just felt really spoon-fed.
Yeah.
Is the B word, biatch, is it evolved into like a gender neutral just insult now?
it was like get away from them. Get away from her. You, they, them.
Wait, can we call? let me try it. Jeff, you are such a bitch. Yeah, it works. Yeah, we can use it.
We all know where it's come
I
from.
normally only get called that on a Saturday night.
It's derogatory and all that sort of stuff, and that's not great. But
yeah,
as language evolves over time, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to fall down that rabbit hole and get involved in politics.
No, we'll let Jeff do it.
Yes.
No. Please aim all your comments to what? No, I'm kidding.
to the most wokest man on the blooming planet.
Yeah. But yes, Space Marine 2. I am eager to play it. I've seen like some cutscenes and I know the plot and everything, and it's like, yeah, I know, yeah. I got a bit spoiled.
I'm doing my best, and this will become a problem in our house. Is that the PS5 is downstairs? We've only got one PS5. It's downstairs. My son will be playing it more often than I will get a chance to. So it'll be when I come into the living room, it'll be a case of like, don't look at the screen, stick my headphones in.
Yeah.
Because I'll have to do my best to avoid it, so that's going to be a bit of a drag. But anyway, trying not to see what's going on,
Me and my son had that with the old Spider-Man and the old PS4.
Yeah.
And like we both got that, and then it was like, right, you play it now, I'll play it, you play it, I'll play it. Because we were well late to the game, and it was like, right, I'll stay out the room, you stay out the room. And we had to do it. And like I played it when he was in bed. But I managed to get ahead of him, so it wasn't spoiled for me.
The second Horizon.
Don't spoil that, I haven't played it yet. It's on my playlist.
My boys were my eldest boy was playing that, and I used to have to sort of come in and go literally be like that with my phone, so not to look up and see him.
Oh, okay.
Don't get me wrong, he'd have his headphones in, but it's like, yeah. So, going back to my original point, why can't Games Workshop just do it the way they used to do it, of going...
3D printing exists. If they showed it, because they show a picture.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
They show a picture of like, hey, here's the Cadian box. People copy it and make STLs. Naughty boys.
Yeah, but realistically,
But if they did it 6 months in advance, like that 3D printed version of it would be available pretty much instantaneously. Somebody would be like, I could have that now, and I've got the rules for it.
True, but literally, how on the grand scheme of things, how many people really do that?
Lots.
If you did a photograph,
got a bit of an idea about it.
Well, you probably know more than me. Just. But if you showed a photograph of like one Cadian and gave it a 6 months, gone in 6 months' time, Cadian's fallen, but the guards haven't, and just showed a photograph of one miniature months in advance, and just
like
gave
that,
a date and said when it's coming out, don't even have to show the back of the miniature, just show the front of the miniature. Cadia stands on this date. Do you know what I mean? But this roadmap of not only going
tanks.
As we talked about this on
my favourite word.
Not only spending most of the time telling you where we've come from, like the worst sat nav in the world, instead of telling you where you're going. You know what I mean? And then going, oh, and by the way, we're I know we're a big band. We're just having 4 months off now.
Imagine if your sat nav did work like that and just went, like you literally got in the car, pulled off your drive, and it went Chester, like that. Then that was all you got. Like Tom was just, we're gonna say your destination to you. It's that's not a roadmap.
Not only that, but you've got 4 months to get to Chester.
Yeah, exactly that.
When you pull out your drive and it's just like head east until you reach Chester.
That's it. Yeah.
You're like,
so on the way there, you'll pass Nottingham, Greg's.
Yeah.
A Subway.
Well, from where we are, you want to go west to Chester, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you think of that shoddy roadmap, sort of trying to
amazingly shot? No, you can be negative and all.
The font was amazing. They did use an incredible font.
Well, that's always good.
Yeah, should have done it in Comic Sans.
No, that's the fact that they didn't use Comic Sans. It was a good font.
Yeah.
I had my, I've talked about, it's probably come up on my show before, that my youngest child is quite bright, and he went through a stage of, like when your kids just ask you all relentless questions about the world. And I remember and he'd been on a real week of this, of going, what's your favourite one of these, Dad? What's your favourite one of them? What's your favourite one of them? And I was doing my best to answer, but then you had to give an explanation as to why that was your favourite thing. And I love it because it's your child learning to build themselves, but with an idea of from coming things from you. And my youngest one's really bright. And the day when I went, I've had enough. I'm broke now. You can't ask me any more questions. Which he went, Dad, and I went, yeah. He went, what's your favourite? And it was like, well, we've done colour, animal, favourite dog. We've done all of these. And I went, yeah. And he went, what would you say is your favourite font? And I went, mate, we're done. That's it now. We're done. We're done. There's no more favourites now for about 6 weeks. What's your favourite font? Literally.
What is it?
It's the one with that one that looks like old-fashioned typewriter.
Oh yeah,
Whatever that's called.
Yeah.
That's my favourite font.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I literally was like, I'm broke. That's me done. You know anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but yeah, imagine. But so what I was going to say. Do you think that they might actually do a Krieg taster box before Christmas, which is what they did with Acadians?
Do a what sort of?
A Krieg taster box. You know where it's got the new codex in it. Because they did that with the Acadians, didn't they? They brought it out late in the year.
Yeah.
And then brought it out proper.
But they said, like, on the, like, after we did the chat last week, which will be released today, about the roadmaps and stuff, on the 40k one, I zoomed in and it said Blood Angels release culminates like 2024. That's it.
Wait, so does that mean, so is that a roadmap? This is the bit I didn't get. So is that a roadmap to say before the end of the year we'll have more Blood Angels? Or was that saying...
No, I think they
we're
said...
done.
Saying, you're done.
My interpretation of it is the Blood Angels that have been announced that are currently unreleased will be released 40k done.
Yeah.
Wait, the Blood Angels that are...
the Blood Angels are still only in the special box, aren't they?
Yes, but there's the special box, but then also the new Sanguinary Guard, the nippleless Sanguinary Guard,
when
and then the Captain.
By the time they've had their individual boxes, will be by the time you're rolling towards the end of the year.
I have said I do want to do my first accessory STL, like, 100% nipples, sanguinary nipples. I'll sell them in sets of 2, even though they're the same thing, supported twice, and just little 3D printable nipples to put. But the best thing is, unlike a lot of the Warhammer releases lately for like upgrade sprues and things like that, you could use these on anything. You could have any Space Marine with the nipples you want. I'll do a variety with and without areola because because if I think the original Sanguinary Guard did have like the 2-tiered nipple on them.
Yeah. So they had an areola and then the nipple.
They did have the areola, then the nipple.
Yeah.
So we broke. So we'll do that. So yeah, look
Just
forward
to the magnifying glass.
I'm amazed
and
that
people say 3D printing doesn't enhance the hobby.
Yes, of course.
I love the fact that obviously the obvious answer was you're going to go, I'm going to do wings, and you didn't.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing nipples.
Well, because
why don't you go really mad and do toes?
Oh, what have they got? Have they not
they
got
haven't
the
got toes anymore.
Oh, they don't have the gold sandals anymore.
No.
Why? Because I can't. You know what? I think my skill in modelling can probably only just handle
Doing a
nipple.
nip.
Basically, it's half a sphere. Is how I'm going to do it because I could probably do a sphere.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to get the scaling right. I know nothing about
nipples.
Like, someone sent me a model yesterday. They were like, "Can you do me 200 of these for Spiel?" A good mate, and I'm going to do them for him. But yeah, and they're tiny little like models as like a practice piece. And I was like, yeah. And then when he'd sent it me, the head, because it's only a torso, the head wasn't connected to the body. And I'm like, I don't even know how to fix that. Like you've basically put it, the guy who'd modelled it had put it there, and the printer I'm using is so precise that this tiny gap would probably just mean the head would float. Like most printers will overexpose and just glue them together.
Oh, okay.
So this one I'm a bit worried. I was like, can you send it back to who sculpted it and make them fix that? Because I've got no idea how to attach that bit to that bit.
Yeah.
No idea.
I visions you sat up till 3 o'clock in the morning with super glue.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but so I think I could probably handle a nipple. If it's half a sphere.
Toes is going a bit too far.
Way too far. You've got to actually get the shape in. So I can understand now.
Feet are an entirely different genre.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And then you're going to be like, oh, they're not.
Oh, that one looks like it's got an ingrown toe.
There we go, and that sort of thing. You know, I don't want the thing. It's interesting. In fact, no, you had a point, and then there was something I wanted to talk about. You were saying something.
I can't remember.
Never mind.
Well, it just is. We talked about this on the previous show. It just seems bad to go, we're now not doing anything else this year, and you've got all these people who still haven't got a codex.
Yeah. So what I was going to lead into is, because we kind of talked about this a bit last week, I don't want to rehash it again and again and again, but is it seemingly we might be at a point where models are fewer, but it's a very interesting time for the hobby with like the licensing stuff, essentially, because Space Marine 2 is out.
Yes.
That's really, really big. The Tithes show on Warhammer Plus is really well received.
Yes.
And then we've got the Amazon show coming up as well.
Oh, the Space Marine 2 tie-in
the
one.
animation one.
Yeah.
No. So there's an animated Space Marine show.
Oh, you not heard about this?
Coming on
they're doing,
Amazon.
I've been working.
They're doing Amazon towards the end of the something like 3rd of December, something like
that. Yeah.
Is going to do a series of animated shorts that are by the people who did Love, Death and Robots, which is
Really? Wait, go on.
yeah. And they are about different characters in video games and a bit of an extra story for them.
Wait, different character. Like, is this Warhammer?
No.
Oh.
Well, it's everything.
Right.
Like
Loads
there's
of different games.
Armored Core is in there, and loads of different stuff. And there was a clip of Kratos from PlayStation and all the rest of it, from the God of War games on PlayStation, I should say. And Titus is getting his own one.
Oh, nice!
Yeah,
Like everyone
and
loves the Titus, don't
It started the trailer that they did started with Space Marines as well. They featured quite heavily in it. So
Yeah.
Okay, I need
that's
to
going
watch
to be
that.
really interesting, and the quality will be insane.
Yeah, because they're
Especially-
great
yeah,
animators.
Because the rumour is Astartes guy worked on that,
Ooh,
which is one of the
Yeah.
reasons Astartes 2 is still taking its time.
Yeah.
Is that apparently he was freelanced onto that.
yeah. Oh, brilliant! Because I've heard the rumors that the guy who, I forget his name, I do apologise. The guy that did Astartes, Games Workshop were like, we want to hire you to supervise animations, and apparently he did the Horus Heresy animation as well. Like when that got released.
the Horus Heresy
Yeah.
preview for the game.
Yes.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah.
They've all been good lately.
Yeah,
haven't they?
they have been. They have been. Like they and Tithes is really a notch up in quality on Warhammer Plus. Like I even thought, ooh, should I subscribe? But then I saw the main fight on YouTube, and I was like, nah, I'm all right.
Yeah, good though.
But
really good.
the quality is getting up there.
Well,
the Amazon one will be leaps and bounds better. But
Because apparently there was a press release on some level not long ago where they went, don't worry, we haven't forgot about Astartes 2, it's still on the way. So
yeah,
and
I'm wondering then, like, okay, so we've got this future where Amazon's doing Warhammer content. Do
Yeah.
you think there'll be a future where the Warhammer Plus content just moves to Amazon? Because the issue, and I think you were saying this, is it Tithes, the one that you watched episode 2 and it's brilliant? Can't watch it on your telly easily.
yeah,
Like,
you
people
can do
still-
if you start doing workarounds, apparently.
Yeah, and that because I don't know of a Warhammer Plus application that I can use.
Well,
to,
because the really sad thing was I wanted to show my eldest boy the other day,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to lend him my phone to do
Yeah.
it. You know what happens? He goes
Yeah.
into the photos and it all goes horribly wrong. And
Can
he's
you not cast it? But saying that.
years in therapy if he ends up in my photo album.
Oh, so there is a Warhammer TV app either on the Apple Store or Google Play Store. So
Oh,
you have
is
if
there?
you have a smart TV,
so you've got to have an Android TV or an Apple
Amazon
TV.
Fire and Roku services. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you say there's a Warhammer app on the
There's a Warhammer TV app on.
in Apple TV app.
Yeah,
in the Apple
apparently,
TV.
yeah.
Oh well, I've got Apple TV. I'll have to have a look at that.
So you should be able to do it.
Because I'd like to watch it on a bigger screen than watching it on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
so
would
it
be
turns
cool.
out you can do it. You're just technically inept.
Well, that's no shock
It's
to it.
not, no. Well, fair enough. But at the same time, like there's sort of a division, isn't there? Like you've got all this Warhammer Plus animation content. Then you've got Amazon. Like, where do you go for your Warhammer? Because the TV show is going to be on Amazon, whatever the TV show is, which I think is Eisenhorn now is pretty much confirmed.
Is it?
Is it?
That's what I heard.
All right,
Or
pass.
that's what I read, but that might
mean,
have been a
what-
rumor that
all
was
the-
presented as fact.
All that I've heard at the moment, and there's
Gotta be done by
there's
December,
so
I know
much
that much.
conjecture and all that sort of stuff. And this is it. Apparently, the deadline for them deciding stuff is December, and whether it goes ahead or not, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I think it's like maybe they jumped the gun in announcing it, and because was it? Arbeiterie and said, "Oh, so many of these things just don't happen."
Yeah.
And I'd be very, very surprised if it does.
Yes.
So yeah, it's interesting. Like, I'd love it to go ahead, and I think like all the hype around Space Marine 2 and the animations and stuff, and like anytime you can tell that Ties is doing really well because it leaks its way off of the paid platform, and you go, look, oh my god, here's a Custodes like stabbing a Tyrannid, and then here's the Sister of Silence doing like is it Battle Cant? I think their version of sign languages or something like that. And no one understands them. So the joke about sort of like, you're all doomed and you're all going to die. And then they all look at the Custodian and she's like, everything's fine. It's just
nothing to see
it's
here.
Just, it's so funny.
I've seen, that's kind of the short I've seen. Like, I didn't know where it was from. And I was
so
like, oh, okay.
That immediately, that joke has just gone like, bloop, and completely been taken out of it. And then the fights have followed. And they get so many views because they're so cool. And the appetite for it is there. Which is great, and there has been some, like, I don't want to, just can't be asked getting involved with it, but there has been some more backlash about there being a female Custodian, because that is the star of the Custodian in episode 2 is female. is a lady Custodian, but then puts on the helmet, kills a load of Tyranids, everyone loves it, it's great. So yeah,
and I do like the fact that, because obviously I know they don't go through the same augmentation as Marines to that, but they still do have all the chemicals and everything pumped into them to become bigger and stronger than they are. I like the fact that they haven't turned it into some ridiculously glamorous. She's quite broad in the face, and it's like, I think it's, I think
looks like they could murder you.
Yeah, do you know?
I feel like I want to watch this for once. Like,
giganticism, is it, when people have overly sized limbs and things like that? And I think that's the idea of what they've tried to do with the Custodes, is, unlike the Marines, is the idea that they don't end up with like all the extra blooming organs, but they do have things to make them bigger, and it's affected their face. She's not taking off the helmet, and she's some.
There's no like. It's sort of like,
she's
I'm a warrior.
Just really, really unlikable. To be fair. Which I think
this actually,
cool.
It's nice to hear people like going, "Ooh," about a Warhammer Plus show.
And if they were knocking it out the park like this all the time, they'd probably have a lot more people subscribing, wouldn't they?
Well, yeah, and that's it. And
I know it's not easy to make it. I know it's not like just sitting down and we'll go, "Oh, we'll knock out a cartoon for next week." I know that, but
and I
should
think
have been a bit more on it, though.
The issue is, I think, with Tithes will be, if the previous series are anything to go by, it will be 3, maybe 4 episodes long, and then that could well be it for the rest of the year.
Well, that'd be consistent.
Yeah.
That'd be consistent, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We've done this in September and we're not doing anything else till the end of next year. But anyway, tanks.
Yes. What did they release on Warhammer Plus last year, video-wise?
I don't know.
Prior Nexus.
Prior Nexus, and that was it, right?
Yeah.
3 episodes.
Pretty much, yeah.
3 episodes of Prior Nexus, maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Hammer and Bolter.
Yeah. And then the irony is that the first episodes of the Tides is the sequel to Prior Nexus.
Yes. Yeah, it should have been episode 4.
Yeah, really.
Ideally.
To some degree, yeah.
And that was really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I thought that was good.
I didn't watch any of them. Like, I watched 3 episodes of Astartes, and I struggled with the exact same reason that reviewer of Space Marine 2 did. I'm like, where's the humour? Like, this is visually very nice.
Yes.
But I'm so easily distracted. You need a
where's
story
the humour?
to
Not even where's
me.
the humour, where's the dialogue? No one spoke.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And it's all well and good.
Other than a bit of chanting.
Yeah, I've seen The Snowman. That was good. I watch it every year at Christmas. And I say,
but at least it's got walking in the air in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it hasn't got any heavy bolters.
No, but it's that sort of thing. Like, it's one of those.
Oh my god, we need
Ping the flamer. I'll make it spring overnight. You watch.
We need like a grimdark version of the Snowman where the little boy comes out and he's just been playing Space Marine 2, and then he makes a snowman Space Marine, and then he walks outside the day afterwards, and everyone in his village has been killed.
Just flames everywhere.
just gone.
So get on that, animators. There you go. It's a free one for you.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Warhammer at the moment, bad. Not bad. No, we can't. Not bad.
No, it's not bad.
Warhammer, but it's just we want more.
I think
that is the key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's not bad in some ways, and this may be me trying to put a positive spin on it. It's not bad at all, but we've all got very accustomed to the relentless release schedule.
Yeah.
And then
we've
now,
all whinged about it as well.
Yeah, and we have. Yeah, this is great because people at Games Workshop may well watch this and go, "You just can't please the bastards."
Yeah, correct.
Yes, and I think they're probably correct in that. We all got used to the release schedule, utterly relentless. And you'd be like, "Oh well, I don't want to pre-order anything this week, but next week I'm sure this thing will come out and whatever." And everything gets you have your Sunday. This is up for pre-order. It goes up for pre-order on Saturday, and then you're immediately into the next cycle because the day afterwards you get your Sunday schedule and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So, that's changed, but we don't know why, and we don't really know when anything else is coming and what's coming. So I think it's that not knowing that is potentially frustrating people.
Yeah,
I just think, I just can't get my head past, because I just think it's unforgivable, is that if we end up in the cycle like we had for 9th, is that there was people, mainly World Eaters and Imperial Guard, who were getting codexes so close to the game, scrubbing them out. I just thought was massively a really bad misstep, and codexes, in my opinion, should be hammered out the gate. And I know you can go, well, then they'll have nothing else to sell. I'm not saying you have to release any miniatures. Just get the bloody codexes out and then fill in. Because my mate, Bestie Tim, got his codex for Imperial Guard. Never even got a game in.
right.
Because unlike 8th to 9th, where the codexes stood, because obviously 9th was a polish of 8th, 10th was like, no, this is a completely different game, and your codex won't stand. So you bought your codex for, say, Imperial Guard. You bought your codex for Imperial Guard. Within 3 months or so, it was dead. And then you had to buy cards to see you through. And then the codex will come out very early next year for Guard, I would say. And then you buy cards again if you want to use. Because they've suckered you into getting used to using cards on your table and liking it. And then when they bring the codex out again, you go, and there's new cards. So you're going, just hammer the codexes out and talk about a miniature. There's a group of miniatures in there going to go, right, we're going to reintroduce this unit. Don't release them. People will just proxy them till you release them, and then release them later on in the year.
Right, I'm lost completely.
No, I understand.
And this is where we go back to the gaming.
Waffle, but yeah.
No. I'm interested in this, and I'm sure many people out there who are into painting on the painting phase don't get this like I don't. So you get a game. Let's say we've got, what are we on now? 10th edition.
10th edition, yeah.
So, and in 10th edition, there are 30 different armies available?
Yeah.
Factions? Something like 30 different armies.
Yeah, 20 of which are Space Marines.
Yeah. But we've got 30. Yeah, fair point. And I imagine it's Codex Space Marines. You don't have Codex Space Wolves and Blood. No, you do, don't you?
You do some, yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. Not every edition does every Space Marine that has had the Codex before get one.
So I've got my game.
Yeah.
And that's got the general rules in it and enough for me to play with that thing. And then I decide I want to play... no, not Tau. No. Let's get a better example.
I don't know what the problem with all
Chaos Space Marines.
Chaos Space Marines, right?
Yeah.
So what do I get? Do I have to then get the
Codex?
The Codex Chaos.
Yeah.
But what if I'm playing? Is there a Codex Night Lords?
No, there's World Eaters and Death Guards.
Oh, so they get their own. So there's So do I need Codex Chaos and
No.
and Codex
No.
World Eaters?
But if you do Space Marines,
You do.
need the 10th edition Space Marines, because then, say, the Blood Angels is a Codex supplement, because that's like a
same
flavor
with Blood
Codex.
So if I play
Same
Blood
with
Angels,
Black Templars. Yeah.
So if I play Blood Angels, I need the game.
You need the rule book.
So I need the rule book. I don't need the Indomitus or the starter sets. I need the rule book.
Leviathan. Yeah.
I then need Codex Space Marines, which is basically Ultramarines.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Codex Blood Angels, which is a supplement.
Yes.
Okay, to play the game.
Yes.
and the models, obviously.
Yes.
But then there are factions. There are a couple of factions within the 30 that just haven't got a codex yet.
It's loads.
Yeah.
Loads.
Like
what? 5 or 10?
Eldar haven't got one yet.
So you can't play Eldar in 10th edition.
It would be easier to say what's... Well, no, you can, because you've got the cards for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And the general rules, but they don't have a codex.
Right. Is there a 10th edition codex? Does every edition have its own codices? Is that right?
Codices, right?
Brilliant.
No idea.
So can I use 8th edition Blood Angels
No.
codex? So I need to wait for a 10th edition.
Yeah.
But they release cards, and the cards have got what? The stats on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like data slates.
So
yeah.
what does the codex give us that the cards
Like
don't?
an updated rules and more rules, more flavour.
Yeah.
So more rules than what the cards give us.
Yeah, and points.
So the cards are just the stats, just the...
Yeah, and if they've got, but also they will have, if we use the term here to just make it easier, faction, they will obviously have, there'll be cards that will give you their faction abilities as well, like going, Imperial Guard, first rank fire, second rank fire, things like that. So there is extra cards in there that will give you the flavour of what that army can do.
Right.
Not just here's the cards for a heavy weapons team, or here's the cards for that. There will be the cards that will make this be a codex enough to be able to go.
But does that not give you a disadvantage against the person who has a full codex of rules?
Quite possibly, yes.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Because you get into power creep by saying that usually the new codexes are more powerful when they get released and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like
The only one that is that kills that is the Eldar. Eldar have been hammering it at tournaments quite consistently for a long time and didn't have a codex and still haven't got a codex.
But
Yeah.
what do they do about balancing the game? Like, so 10th come...
Oh, bless
Am I
you.
asking?
No, it's fine because there'll be people that we need
Yeah.
to.
And I genuinely don't
Yeah.
know. Like, how have I been in this hobby
Okay.
for 20 years and I don't know this? And it's when I start asking these. I've never really had friends. No, I've never.
Always makes
well,
me
I've never
sad when he says that.
I've never. It's quite obvious why to both you and our viewers. But no, I've never really had friends who are into Warhammer, who were into it more than me, who can explain any of this to me.
Yeah.
And when you go and try and research this on your own, it's like I don't even know what questions to ask. So I can ask you guys.
yeah.
You can
Yeah.
fill me in. Thank you.
And well, like, hopefully there's somebody out there, and I mean this in the nicest possible
Yeah.
way, who only knows a little as well. And you asking the questions is informant for him or her as well.
So the game's completely unbalanced. Probably not completely. But
No, not completely unbalanced, but it's had its
unbalanced.
issues. I mean, it was massively unbalanced early 10th edition was shocking because no one could just beat the Eldar at tournament.
but is that the same with every edition? You tend to, because I remember the Votan had to be like,
The
here's a book.
Votan Codex was so bad they had to do an apology video for it,
Right.
Which
With
they've
James
never
Webb.
done
and
before.
then do what?
Yeah.
Wait, so bad it overpowered.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
and also it was so bad that the German organisers of a tournament weren't allowing it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
remember this.
And we
I
met that
remember
man.
this.
It
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, we did.
So that we did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fantastic, yeah.
It works for army painting
Things
now?
come back
Yeah.
in.
Right?
Yeah, I've not seen him at an event since, but yeah, hopefully we'll be at another one. So you've got the game, you've got some have codexes, some just have cards. Do you get cards released for all the factions
Yes.
with every?
Yeah.
So all the factions get cards.
Yeah.
So
So
bear
why
in
don't we
mind,
just
I'm on my second box of cards for Space Marines.
in 10th?
Yes.
Why?
Because when they update the Codex, they update the cards as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and this
So the
is
cards you
all
get
the
you
cards
buy.
you've already.
Yeah. The cards that get you buys,
Yeah.
and then when the Codex comes out, they release the Codex and then they release them cards again.
Right, with them, because the cards are nice to eat.
Yeah, and that's how they suckered me, was really speaking, I didn't need the cards again because I now had a Codex. My old cards were basically dead.
Yeah.
But I now had my Codex, which meant them cards could go in the bin.
So how much is a pack of cards?
About 12, 15 quid.
And how
something
much
like
is a
that.
codex? Like 35
About
quid?
35.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
But then the issue is the Codex and the cards come out. And like this is well trodden by every single Warhammer YouTuber ever that knows way more than we do. But like the Codex and the cards come out, the Codex gets nerfed. So everything that's kind of, not everything, but a lot of what's written on paper in ink needs to be changed. because they update the points, or they go, oh, actually.
Well, the only good
that
thing
means
is on the
this,
cards they don't put the points on.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
And even this is how bad.
But even so 10th edition gets released.
Yeah.
Here's your Blood Angels cards. Like, here's 10th edition, and here's your thing. Here's your Blood Angels cards. Now,
the
they
Blood
go,
Angels never got cards.
For God's sake, I thought
Yeah,
they all
only
got
Space
cards.
Marines.
Only Space Marines
got
got
Space
cards.
Marines
yeah.
got cards.
Yes.
Right. Do Blood Angels now have cards? Now that
Yes,
this new...
well, when their codex comes out for the rest of the world.
Yeah, because it has already technically come out in a limited release in
And
the
there'll be a
in
box
the
of
big
cards.
box
in the
set.
starter box,
And that
yeah.
comes with cards as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
All comes in a lovely little folder because
Yeah.
I bought the Crute early release for Tau, and it comes with a lovely little folder. You open it up, and your codex is in there, and your cards are in there.
Right, okay. So the game isn't balanced, but it's balanced. Some armies have codexes, some don't. Some have cards, some don't. When you get a codex, you get cards.
Yeah.
But not everyone has cards or codexes. Most
Correct.
people have cards, fewer have codexes, and you can go entire releases without a codex for your army.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what is the point in a codex then? Why are they wasting their time making codexes when they can just have everything more balanced with fair enough, Jack?
To quote
Yeah.
the OJs, one of my favourite funk bands. Money, 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 money.
Yeah,
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
So do you even get, because the reason
Because
I got a
realistically,
codex...
the bloody simplest way to do it is just release the codexes digitally, and then you can alter them, which is
But
what
it's
happens
time as well, isn't
Yeah.
it? They would have to decide, right, we are doing these factions and no others, and then do it. This is why, like, comparably, like, one-page rules I understand better, because it's on one sheet, because both sides, and one sheet rules sounds a bit toilety, so I don't think they can call it that. But it's one-page basic rules, but then your army is 2 or 3 pages
Yeah.
for your... And that's, you know, front, back, and another front.
Yeah.
But they've got numerous factions now across various games, but they constantly update it to balance it, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot less to. Well,
Yeah.
there's almost as much to deal
Their
with.
miniature range won't be anywhere near as big as.
Do you want me to tell you one that is
40K,
mind blowing?
I would argue it might actually be bigger.
Oh right.
Do you know what
okay.
just come to mind? Sort of talk about how many books can you need? Ready? 10th edition rulebook,
Yeah. 1,
Space Marine Codex,
2.
Dark Angel, Blood Angel, or Black Templar Codex.
Yeah.
Okay, 3.
Yeah.
And then your board and actions book. 4 books to play board and actions.
Oh wow.
Really?
So you need the 40k 10th edition rulebook to
Yes,
play boarding
because you
actions.
essentially, when you're playing board and actions, it's not like Kill Team, which has got its own.
I thought boarding actions was its own thing.
No, it's
Oh.
board and actions just has rules in it that 10th edition doesn't cover for close quarter fight.
Oh.
Don't get
surely-
great. I bought it. I'm sorry I didn't bring it with me. It's a great book, but yeah. So you essentially, if you were playing a supplement Marine army, you potentially, because if you want to play board and actions, could end
Yeah.
up with 4 books to play.
Yeah. And then
I don't get how much. I don't have enough time to sit and paint
Yeah.
in adulthood.
yeah.
Never mind sit, paint, read book, and then find time to play with people. Can we just do Kill Team?
Yes.
We did
Yeah.
that.
But we
video
are
game.
going to
yeah,
do.
Let's do
yeah.
it, please.
We promised you we'd do.
Thank
Kill Team.
you.
Yeah.
I want to play.
Because the really interesting thing with 40k is from like, I guess, an outside perspective of playing it, they balance it with tournament wins and losses.
Yeah, tournaments.
And that's the only
control.
way how they do it. So like we've had Vanguard Tactics on before,
Yeah.
and the title of that video was like, "Is a tournament's ruining 40k?" And we had a good chat about that.
Were they not?
Well, not to.
No,
Don't get me wrong.
he was like potentially.
Yeah, Steve Boxer's a lovely
Okay,
guy, but
yeah.
obviously he is to some degree going to fight the tournament corner because that's what he's famous for.
Yeah, no, but it's like it's certainly a very stylistic way of playing the game
Yeah.
that
It's like
isn't
an example
representative of how everyone plays.
one of our favourite bits of footage ever, wasn't it? Was the London tournament.
Yeah, so there was a London tournament. I told this story before, but for the benefit of yourself, it's wonderful. 2 years ago, maybe
Oh, even
3.
maybe 2-3 years ago.
So is it? What was it?
It was AdMech.
LGT.
LGT. Yeah, London
AdMech
Grand Tournament, yeah.
and
I can't remember who the other guys
like a
are.
Space Marine chapter, I think, wasn't it, or something
Possibly,
like
yeah.
that. And it essentially came down to they had such busted lists.
Of flyers, the
yeah.
ornithopters, the ones that look like they're like a bit Leonardo da Vinci style.
Yeah.
But there was a rule, the rule of how many of them you could take was shonky, to say the least.
Because it was a really interesting time because you could spam loads of vehicles. So they have the rule of 3 now, so you can't take any more than 3. And if you want to do all vehicles, you should probably play a different game. Right. So it all came down to like who won the first dice roll to go first.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the game ended. The person that won the dice roll won.
Because we were watching, you could watch this on a top-down video.
Yeah.
So we actually, we've seen this in the place.
And the game, it was quite like because they mic'd up the players and they were kind of like bickering with each other a bit. And, I didn't see how many dice. I thought that was a 3 and that kind of thing. This one chap won. And he was like, okay, good game. And the other guy was like, well, it wasn't, was it?
But my point for bringing that up was almost within the week, they reduced the number of how many of them flyers you could take for admin.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So
how, though? How was that communicated?
Because it'll go out in it, because they do updates.
Yeah.
Where?
Warhammer community is where you'll generally find.
And they used to do with like tournaments and things, if you wanted to play tournament level 40k, you had to have like every quarter they would release like a chapter approved book which would update points and rules and this, that, and the other. And everyone was like, this is just getting ridiculous. So that has been tweaked.
Which is one of the things
where the app updates.
This is one of the things I was going to say. I've got to be honest, I'm a bit of a fan of the Warhammer Army Builder app.
We need to talk about the kill team stuff as well in a bit.
But I like the Army Builder app. And the thing about the Army Builder app as well is it actually has the 10th edition rulebook in there. And the rules for 10th edition have just had a bit of a shift as well. We're now, as Pat the last episode said, they're now referring to it as 10.5 edition rules.
Yeah.
It's had a bit of a shift. But the thing is, to be fair to them, they go in and they update it all in the app. So if something's needs nerfing, you can find out about it from Warhammer community, but within no time, they've gone in and they've sorted it.
I think that's where it needs to, and it's good that they've recognised it. Like that's where it needs to be. Does it track your wins and losses and like does it have like social? That'd be good, wouldn't it? Like no,
that's like something that they do. They do every so often. Will show you how a particular faction is doing in the tournaments and things like that.
Yeah. But it'd be nice if you had like a I'm Jeff 1972.
1.
Oh, close. But I'm Jeff 1972. It depends when your birthday is. But yeah, and then you're Pat
89.
I wouldn't have said that. I'd have said like Pat wine drinker or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pat for the Pat. But yeah, and then you guys are like, right, we're gonna have a battle and then maybe record your result or something like that throughout it and have like a social aspect of it. But I do like the fact that 4 books. No, I don't want to play your game. 1 app. All right. Yeah.
I do like the fact that you, which again is a bit ropey because people going, well, you're paying for that, but then you have to pay again. But it doesn't hugely bother me. Is that when you get your codex, there's a code in the back of it. And it means then you can unlock for that. Oh,
so you don't get it free on the app. So you've got to pay you pay your subscription to Warhammer Plus or just the app.
Yeah, or just the app.
And then after that, you've then got to buy your book. That makes sense. Like, they can't. I get why they don't just give away the rules for free because people are actually there working on them.
Yeah,
and they've got to pay those
quid
people.
a book, and you wouldn't want to make every book available.
No, exactly.
It's like it's annoying me a little bit at the moment because if anybody's got it and would like to send me a DM and give me it, or I'll even buy it off them, is can I have the code for Imperial Agents because I only want to know what the bloomin' assassins are doing. I don't want to spend 35 quid on a rule book
or somebody just tell Jeff what the assassins are doing.
That'll do.
I'll tell you. No, I'm going to tell you what they're doing right now. Assassinating.
No, if it's a night.
At least they're staying on task. So that's
an interesting. So for the Imperial Agent, so if you've got an Imperial Guard army, you need Codex Astra Militarum.
Yes.
And for the assassins,
if you want to put them in,
you now need the Codex
for Agents of the Imperial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. or Imperial Agents, whichever way around it's written.
Until 3 months from now when they get cards that replace all those things, because
they'll get their codex in. I reckon Death Korps Krieg / Imperial Guard will probably come out.
I know we've derailed this quite a bit, but like as
Well, you've
somebody
been
who
away,
is
so it
completely,
feels like it's a bit of a catch-up.
yeah, there is that. For somebody who does not get the game at all, and for those people out there who do get the game, hopefully my ignorance paints a picture as to just how mad this actually sounds.
Yeah.
when from the
it's
outside
mental.
looking in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which for me is why when we very kindly got sent Mass Effect, the board game from Modiphius, I'm like, oh, I've got half a dozen miniatures. All the rules are in this box. It's cheap. It's good. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's got
Yeah.
dice. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you even asked me, you said, how much do you think this costs? I was like, 60 quid. You were like,
Yeah.
nope, 40. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
board game prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the miniatures aren't, they're a far cry from the quality we get from Warhammer.
But-
And that's
But
why
at
my
board game
interest is
level, I think
Warhammer.
they're pretty decent.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, not trying to put them down. Yeah,
Yeah.
for board game, they're really, really good.
Yes.
But yeah, like for me, like Games Workshops, they're in such a unique position, aren't they? Because are they a game company or are they a miniatures company?
Well, they say they're a
or-
miniatures company who,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
and they just
and-
happen to also release some
And this is it.
rules for their toys.
Going back to like their mission statement is we're going to make plastic miniatures in Nottingham, sell them for a profit, and do it forever. That's like.
Oh, is that really
it's,
what it
it's
is?
not verbatim, but it's very like
Very
close to that.
that's pretty much it. It's
Yeah.
very bare bones. We're doing this. This is what we do.
God, I wish
money,
they could be that
etc..
straight with the community.
Yeah.
They'd
but
probably
so,
sell a lot more.
So the another chat we did with games designer James Hewitt.
Many moons ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
James,
who made
who is
Fallout
made
Factions.
Fallout, yeah.
And you know, that is the mission statement. The games are a vessel to sell miniatures.
Yeah.
Does having a balanced game mean that they will sell less? Like maybe a little bit, but probably not very much.
Yeah.
Don't know.
People are still-
Depends how big the game is, and like
Yeah.
if it gets to the point where it's scrutinized. I was about to say, yeah, and then I realised the audience I'm talking to. If it gets if it's so bad it's scrutinised heavily for its lack of balance, then yeah, of course it'll stop people buying them. And then I remembered Warhammer.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's great because and you know we've all gone, yeah, God, four books to do board and actions. 3, let's just play Kill Team. Let's just play another Games Workshop product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you're right.
Good
Why
segue
is it?
into
Good
Kill
way.
Team.
Yeah. Please do segue into
Because
Kill
we
Team.
Before we do go to segue, I want to ask a question that I've asked
Okay.
a few people around and no one's answered, and I don't want you guys to answer it. I want the audience to answer it. Why Games Workshop? Why is it like with so many? And yeah, I'm big in the 3D printing scene at the moment, so there
Yeah.
are thousands of models, arguably some better. And even I don't care. I will see another miniature by another thing. Like Loot Studios makes incredible miniatures.
Yeah,
They've
they
just
do,
done
yeah.
the minis from Arkham Horror. Oh my God, they're incredible. And they're 42 mil as well, which means bigger, easier to paint. Fantastic. And then I'm like, but I'd still rather paint a Space Marine. So why is it we are so, and again, you guys don't answer this, we'll get to Kill Team. Why is it we are so tied to Warhammer when we see other miniatures that are released that are arguably better, technically better, we don't care. And we see Warhammer miniatures, wow, why? Why is that there? So, Kill Team.
I feel like it's going to be an individual, like it would be quite a specific answer
Good.
for
I
the
want to hear.
individual.
I want to
Yeah.
hear people's
Yeah.
reasons. I want to because
Yeah.
I think for me it's nostalgia, and I think for a lot of people it's probably nostalgia. But I'm like, I don't know why it's nostalgia because I don't care anymore. I think there's something like there's an X factor to
Yeah.
Warhammer that they have.
Like the design
The-
aesthetic of Warhammer,
yeah.
I think is really unique.
Yes.
in a way. Like I look at some miniatures and I go, yeah, technically, like at Gen Con there was that massive Loot Studios, there was like a lady in like a mech suit or something.
yeah, yeah,
and
the-
it's like
yeah.
half open.
Oh,
and,
that's one
Yeah.
I've seen. Same one from Adaptive.
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that looks amazing. And it looks really, really cool. But I think like what Warhammer have done that everybody else copies is any miniature company that wants to succeed has to have 3 strands. It has its miniatures, it has the game, and then it has the lore behind it as well. and that's what they've done really, really well. Like
Yeah.
I've been listening to getting updated on my Caiaphas Cain books, and I was like, I had a little bit of a hiatus from Caiaphas Cain because I was like, oh, I'm getting a bit caned out, you know what I mean?
I did too. I really enjoyed both of them, but I also thought, and you're going to bed for a little while.
Yes, yeah. So I'm on book 11.
Wow.
But I had a break at about like book 9, I think, because I was like, oh, just, all the books are the same, but they're all equally great.
Yeah.
And he has no character development. Talked about it before. Caiaphas Cain's awesome. But the stories and the quality of the audiobooks is so good. Like, I got advertised on Audible, like, oh, this guy's like British Jack Reacher. I can't remember what the name was. I was like, you know what, I won't even listen to a preview. I'll just download it. That looks quite good. Bit of a change, bit of like an action. Oh, he's XSS and he's angry and drunk. And the recording quality of the guy narrating it was really poor. And I just had to stop listening. I was like, it was rubbish. And a few other ones that I've done where I'm like, oh, I just don't like that person's voice. Like it feels like they've recorded it on their phone on a street.
Yeah.
And it's all really distorted and this, that, and the other. I think like what Workshop have done with the audiobooks is all of their voice actors are top notch. They fit the world really, really well. And just having that lore and all that sort of stuff. So like if you put, a miniature on a table, you're not like, oh, it's this really cool lady in a mech suit. I don't know. But you're just like, oh, this is chapter master so-and-so, and he's done this, and he's done this, and this chapter's done this, and have you heard about the Emperor of Mankind? Holy fuck. Like, you just get way more involved.
Yeah, it's true. It really is.
So maybe it's that, maybe it's the law. So, yeah. So I'm interested to see what people say. I want to know why is it the question is more, why is it an event when we see a mini, whether we love the mini or hate the mini? Why is it an event for you with Warhammer minis that it's not? That could be a show.
It's almost a hobby within itself, isn't it? Is loving the miniature or when you see the photograph of it, loving the miniature or loving to hate the miniature, isn't it?
Yes.
I think, talking about what's coming out is almost its own hobby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Please then, Kill Team.
Kill Team. So we had a brief chat where we were just like, they fly now? They fly now?
Yeah.
They fly now? Where we were kind of like, how on earth, what are they going to do with Kill Team? Because they've already done loads of teams. And
Told you before.
Oh, yeah, they're going to swim now. Yeah.
You
heard it here first, folks.
Yes, yeah. Kill Team Aquatic Edition.
Yeah. They cook now?
Yeah.
Cooking Mama Space Marines.
Yes.
Brilliant.
And we have an answer.
Yes.
And that is classified kill teams. So what they've done now is they're going to tell you, and to their credit, they've told us maybe like a year in advance that some teams will leave. So the earlier kill teams, like the Commandos, Death Squad Krieg, that kind of stuff, you won't be able to play them in a tournament. This will be the last year that you can.
Yeah.
They'll still get updated, I believe, somewhat, but you won't be able to take them into tournament play and things like that.
I do have some worries about this, but please continue. Oh,
no. Yeah,
my worries is when they say they're leaving, does that mean they're leaving, or are they just going to get reboxed into 40k?
So it says you can still enjoy playing them in all of the settings except for classified tournament play, and they'll continue to receive updates, including for balance, until the end of this edition.
But they've basically said
but then after that, pretty much
when
gone.
I read that, I almost felt I was reading between the lines a little bit. It was like going, we're running out of shelf space. We can't just keep filling it with more and more kill teams.
Yeah.
And I think this is a problem of their own making to some degree, is if instead of revisiting factions with more kill teams, they just made their way through all of the factions first.
Yeah.
Give you an example.
Oh, so instead of doing more Tau,
so Tower are out. That is basically Tau have been in it twice so far.
Yeah.
If you
count the one in the new
count Crute.
That one that they've just revealed's got the flappy thing.
Yeah, so they've got
hasn't
3.
it?
Basically, out of one codex, that's 3 kill teams.
Yes.
And you're going, but, and I'm not shouting their corner because there's something I play, but we're going, so you've had 3 kill teams out of one codex, and there still isn't a Death Guard.
Yeah.
And there still isn't an AdMech. And, you know.
But then what would they go down to? Would you have them do Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Dark Angels?
They won't do Space Marines because I think they've generally settled on like 10 miniatures a kill team.
Yeah.
And Space Marines, if you have 10 Space Marines going up against 10 Chaos Cultists, like Space Marines in the lore wouldn't even blink.
We've got
They'd
10
just go
Night Lords.
bang, 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 bang.
One of them had 10 Night Lords in it.
Oh, they did. Yes,
I'm
stand corrected.
sure.
Yeah,
We did have
because you
Space
have
You do get 10
Nemesis
Space Marines,
Claw,
yeah. But yeah, if they did maybe.
Okay, so in the lore, Space Marines would easily kill them.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely
rubbish.
right, yeah. But you're going, yeah, why didn't you try getting through all of the, which is, it's sometimes Games Workshop design of things they release, it's a bit like you're relying on somebody with ADHD to release your miniatures for you, It's
well, that's where they've got me, because I'm like, I can't follow them. But yeah, I'd like more organisation.
What I want to know is, say, for example, they're saying they did to some degree, said, look, we just can't keep supporting everything can kill team, which I understand, I get it, but you're going, well, does that mean when you say you can't support them, does that mean that in 18 months' time, you won't be able to buy Orc Commandos on the kill team shelf in their nice little orange box? Will they be gone? And if they are gone, are you going to just kill them off completely? Or are you going to rebox them because they are in Orc codexes and then move the Commandos into the 40k section of your shop? Or will you just go...
You know what? I don't know.
Because it's still taking up shelf space.
Yeah, because I would
All
like...
you're just doing is moving your shelf space. You're just robbing Peter to pay Paul, aren't you?
Yeah, because I would like to think that they get moved into 40k, but then, as we've kind of said before, like, you end up with this, like, really weird, like, maybe not really weird, but, like, a really decorated squad.
That doesn't...
And you're like, oh, yeah, this one's got a medic, and they've got all these cool pocket knives and all this extra detail.
But it does nothing in your game.
Yeah.
So it's like, and and this is like, because then Krieg will probably be an easiest one to understand because Krieg are getting a full army. But yeah, well, I don't even say it's rumoured because the Blumman roadmap is about the only thing it did say of any use.
That has a picture of a Krieg.
And it said that they're getting the Death Corps Krieg are going to get a.
Do they have any tanks though?
I would love to see some new tanks.
Or just tanks. No, what they'll do, in my opinion, they'll just carry on releasing the tanks, and what they'll do is they'll give Death Corps Krieg an accessory sprue, and they'll have half the body of a tank commander on there.
Right.
Just from the legs down.
Yeah. So you get your Rogel Dawn and just put him just 2 feet sticking out the top.
But no, so I think that's what they'll probably do is your tank commanders will probably come on the sprue, on a upgrade sprue, which that might sound a bit weird, but the Cadian upgrade sprue has got a tank commander on it, so I think they'll just mimic that to some degree. So I think the Krieg going is all right, because the Krieg will probably end up with their own 40k box because they'll want to promote them as their own army.
Yes.
But things like what will happen to the commandos? And then what will happen, because they're quite a mainstay in a lot of guards armies, when this finally whittles its way round.
Oh, like Kassakan will stay.
So Kassakan eventually. Will Kassakan end up... Will Kassakan eventually end up being pushed into 40k?
So maybe it's like the format is generally at the start of a new edition, you get 2 brand new squads, teams, kill teams.
Yeah.
But then the next one will have 1 new kill team and then an upgrade sprue.
That's right.
So then maybe the upgrade sprue ones just die.
Yeah.
And they keep the newer ones. Because say like the Tau. Like the 5, it was at the second one where it was like Tau and Sisters.
Yeah, Pathfinders.
Yeah, Pathfinders. Like
they got a mild.
They already have like a model kit.
Yeah,
anyway.
And they just well, it was the same with Space Marine. Not intercessors. They're sneaky ones, infiltrators.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
They just got an upgrade sprue, which had here's a cooler looking gun with a guy with a set of goggles, and here's your medic bag, and here's this.
So why again on a shelf would they have his 2 pretty much identical boxes? This one's more expensive because it looks cooler, but they just have the same rules.
Yeah,
I can't like.
But it just means what you need. But the problem being is that if they say we're continuing to support this army, but we're not going to give you access to the sprue to turn them into a kill team viable option. You're then going, well, you are effectively to some degree killing them, aren't you?
It's basically if you still own them, you can still play them, but we're not going to make them.
And I utterly understand it, because I understand shelf space is money.
Yeah.
I completely get it. But it's like...
Because they'll have to have orcs, but so they'll do like they'll redo the Storm Boys, right?
Yeah, I think Storm Boys are kill team
and then the
bound,
commandos,
personally.
and they'll be around for 2 years, and then the orc commandos will get shuffled off somewhere into retirement.
But it would be annoying if you opened your codex, wouldn't it? And when? They look cool. I'll go and buy a box of what, where, when?
Yes.
Where? Commandos, where?
But then with the release schedule of 40k, we're 1 year in, so we've got 2 years until 11th edition.
Yeah.
No, not that, is it?
It's every 3 years?
It's every 3 years.
What comes out in the middle? Because every year for the last... It's 2 years, because every year...
No,
no.
it's 3.
No,
Every
we
3.
had...
Horus Heresy.
Heresy jumped in the middle there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it should be 4. We should have Heresy, Old World, 40k, Sigmar, and just keep doing
It should
and
be
at least
bloody
then
5 years, and then everyone will get a chance to get their codex and use it.
And actually play it for a decent amount of time. Yeah.
Oh, so stick the Lord of the Rings in there as well. There you go. There's your 5. Do that. Just cycle that, guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and
then everything else you can cycle: Kill Team, Necromunda, all the other things.
That's a really
Wherever
interesting one
within
with
it,
Kill
yeah.
Team. Yeah, like I wonder. I'm genuinely interested to what will happen. Yeah.
because this new one that's coming out, it's a new
Version.
edition.
Whole new edition.
Yeah.
This is Kill
This is
Team
the one we're
3.
going to get you into.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Because it's
okay.
got no luggage with it initially.
Yeah, because the
It'll-
more you talk about 40k and these factions, the more I'm just like, and again, bringing up the ADHD comparison earlier, I'm just sat there going, why can't they just go back to the drawing board? Or they could have done this when they released Primaris and go, right, let's release all our main troopers over this year for all the army, and okay, now we'll do a commander for one for each army, and then we'll do that, and then everyone gets almost an equal amount of something. Now we'll do tanks, monsters, and by the time they get to the end of that in 10 years, it'll be like, let's just do a range refresh because things have moved on and we can. And no one's going to kick off. No one would have kicked off and gone, Primaris, when it's like, oh yeah, I've gone through the... Speaking of which, when you play
somebody
Space
would
Marine...
have kicked off.
when you well, yeah, true. When you play Space Marine 2, you do get to see Titus goes through the
Rubicon.
the Rubicon Primaris. Let me know what you think of that scene when you...
I've already
Oh, have you seen that?
it,
I
yeah.
haven't seen
So,
it.
well, we're not going to spoil it. So
Yeah.
when you
Is
guys
that
watch
really
it
just
at home,
put great big legs, weights on the bottom of his ankles to stretch him?
yeah, that's how they do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
He does lots of pull-ups.
Yeah. They
It's
put
like a Rocky montage.
Yeah.
No, we'll talk about it after, but so we
Okay.
don't spoil it for people. Yeah, what did you guys think of that scene? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, the more I'm looking at it, like the Primaris thing, I don't think anyone would have kicked off, and if they'd have just gone, yeah, so we're moving to true scale now, guys. I think the only reason they didn't is because there were still
didn't like this.
hundreds of sprues of Firstborn out there
Yeah.
that needed to be sold.
And also, as well, people didn't like the storyline. That suddenly this Adeptus Mechanicus genius,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
no one had ever heard of before,
Well, and
had
I
been
get-
working on the idea
'cause
of
it-
this forever and a day.
It's
And
essentially like almost like some kind of retcon, basically, where it was like, we made them. Gilliman ordered them ages ago, but they've been in the freezer.
Yeah.
And then now that Gilliman's back,
Should have
he's
just-
brought them
I
back.
I feel
Why
like
did
that's
just
from
go-
Star Wars, isn't
Just
it? Like,
go, why
Yeah.
didn't you just go new armor bigger?
Yeah. Yeah, but no, because it's a proven track record with Games Workshop. When they say, no, this has always existed, it's always really well received.
It's always
Yeah.
loved,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. It's
well,
always
they,
loved.
again,
They're
as we
always
taught,
loved.
they couldn't do it any other way without getting crap because we're never happy.
No,
We're
no,
never
we've
happy.
discussed this. We're never happy.
Yeah,
we're
we'll never be happy. I
Yeah.
might have been happier if the Blood Angels were more varied, had some more Blood Angel-y elements and
Nipples.
nipple. Well, I'm not even bothered about the
Well, he's
nipple.
not worried about the nipples. He's going to make a fortune
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
gonna make a
nipples. He's
fortune
actually glad the
selling-
nipples are
Yeah,
gone.
this is
But the
Rogel Dawn's bottom part 2.
This is, you know what? I was thinking of the Rogel Dawn's bottom thing. Why didn't anyone do a Flintstone style mod of a load of Imperial Guard feet out of the bottom of that tank just running? Why has nobody done that yet?
Genius.
Like everyone's done the 3D
Stopping off to
printable
buy
bottoms.
Carnifex ribs. You know, like
Yeah.
the others.
But yeah, that sort of thing. Oh, it'd have been brilliant. But yeah, like I'm not bothered about the lack of nipples. I'm not even bothered about the feet. I'm bothered about the little wings on the back.
Oh,
and I'm
which almost
bothered-
felt like a really, really poor apology, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like, well, you've got your little wings.
This is why Great Eye Studios exists, man.
Yeah, but then there's
He must have
exactly.
been chuffed when they had no wings
Oh,
on.
he
yeah.
literally day 2 I saw, hey, we've sorry mate, you bothered about wings? Well, we've already done. And it's a perfect
Yeah.
adapter that fits the shape of the back, and then you can
And then
put
the
your
backpack
backpack
goes on.
it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yep, nailed
They
that.
must just be like...
Have they released it yet? They
I
haven't,
thought it was
have they?
already out, wasn't it?
'Cause I tried-
Hadn't he already done Blood Angel-y
No,
bits?
no, it's not. No, it was announced, and I don't think it's out yet. Like, it's not on my mini factory. I don't think.
I don't know, but they'll be coming. And if it's not him, it'll be somebody else. And the thing is now, what I've noticed as well...
What's his name will be
is-
getting to work on them as well, won't he? Archie's Forge, who I love Archie's Forge stuff.
Oh, yeah, like those sort of things. But what I've seen happen now is a creator gets shut down. So this is what happens, and it's the Pirate Bay thing. So Pirate Bay, like, oh, Pirate Bay, you can get movies. They shut the Pirate Bay down, so then 50 different Pirate Bays opened up because it went open source. Someone did this in 3D printing the other day. There was a guy called Big Bricks, or the Big Brick or something, and I brought them in, I've shown you, and he's made... Lego
Oversized
minifigs
Lego.
that you can oversize.
Yeah.
And the way he's done it is brilliant because you don't need a multicolor printer. Every part is printed in its own individual color filament. And the way he builds his kits is great. And obviously you got the DMCA or the cease and desist from Lego.
Yeah.
It might be Lego, it might be Marvel or Disney or whoever.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have been them, I'll tell you why. And he's had to stop, so he's renamed now the Kit Kiln. And I caught him just on the back end of that happening, so I managed to get them and download them before thinking I've been printing them for videos. But now he does like Star Wars kits, and I've just done a Wall-E, which you saw this morning. He does a Lego Turtles Party Wagon.
Amazing.
But whilst he's been shut down from making his Lego figures, that he was like, these are good kits that... Like, you're not going to stop buying Lego because you've got this, but I get they need to protect the copyright. Because he's been shut down, now everyone's took it. And there are loads of them all over
So
the
like
internet.
a Hydra, cut one head off, and
And
yeah.
it becomes so the same as the Pirate Bay. You kill it, and it just becomes free for everyone. You kill this one creator, and you say no, you can't do that. Now everyone's like, all right, well, it's fair game then. We'll do it, and releasing them for free.
Yeah.
So not quite to his quality level,
But still.
it's the same thing here. Like you, if you were to stop someone like these guys doing the accessible parts, all right, fine. Others would just be out there going, there you go, have them free.
Yeah.
We'll do them and not charge for them. The reason
Yeah.
people aren't doing it now is because they want to support creators. We want to support artists, and we do. But yeah, so I would have been happier if Blood Angels was more varied. It's exactly what I've been asking for since Primaris came out, and it's just not good enough.
No.
There's
And I
just
said
not
this,
enough
didn't I? I
variety.
said I was expecting them to go down the Black Templars route of making
Yeah.
a box
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
felt like it was made for them.
Yes.
And they didn't.
And yeah, they really aren't, are they? Like seeing the Blood Angel Terminators that you brought in.
Yeah.
Space
Even
Hulk
though,
ones.
yeah, the Space Hulk,
Yeah.
even though they're the old ones and they're a little bit squat, just like some chains and gubbins and stuff on there, and I'm just like, hell yeah! Like, I mean, maybe that's a video making my Blood Angels Blood Angely.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
With like, yeah, so the Grey Tide stuff, it hasn't launched yet. It's going to be on, is it Frontiers? Is that their kind of like Kickstarter platform?
Frontiers is my mini factory's version of
Yeah.
like a Kickstarter.
Yeah. So all it is, it says get notified when the campaign launches. But
Yeah. But the good thing about Frontiers is, unlike a Kickstarter, so on Kickstarter, everyone backs it. Then when it ends, you might get that thing in a year. On Frontiers, if you back it, you typically get the thing now. So as soon as you pay your money, you just get it. So it's less of a Kickstarter, more of a early launch, and it's the best way to get discounts.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So they have wings. They've got jetpacks. They've got jetpacks with wings. Like some of the shoulder pads and stuff look really cool.
Which are compatible with Warhammer and other popular war game systems, like
and this is
others.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but they're good, and it's nice to have. I don't know. Maybe it's nice to have the variety, but I think we've all said it before. We want the official variety. We do want it.
Yeah.
We want Warhammer to make the Warhammer things, but if they're not going to, then
You
Yeah.
realise, don't you, with Warhammer that its shops are its greatest strength and its greatest boon all at the same time, isn't it? Because its great strength is the fact that nearly every major city in the world has got a Games Workshop.
Yeah.
I am rounding up a little bit in that statement, but roughly.
Yeah.
But the problem being is they've got shelf space. So
Yeah.
all the wonderful things that you wish Games Workshop could buy, that could sell you, and Games Workshop probably wish they could sell you as well.
Yeah.
Is they can't because they've got to work to how much shelf space they've got, which is the problem.
And the factories can only produce
Excellent.
so much, which
Yeah.
I think has been a big part of their problems.
Because because
recently.
the dream would be you going, all right, they stop making Space Marines for Kill Team, the Phobos ones go,
Yeah.
but that's okay because I'll buy a box of the Phobos ones and I'll buy the little sprue with the bits that turns them back into a Kill Team again. But there will never be the shop space to be able to do that.
No.
Or the supply chain to be able to support that. And you go, and it's a shame because, and that's the bit where almost you go, you are a victim of your own success, is the fact you have so many shops, but there's only so much shelf space, isn't there? And it's a shame, you know. But back in the old days, it was never a problem because you phoned them up or you went on their website if you go to when that started. And you just ordered the frames.
Yeah.
And you could buy anything individually. You could
Yeah.
buy the bits you wanted.
Because it was all metal and it'd be
Yeah,
like, they'd all.
or even plastic.
Yeah.
You could buy plastic frames because I
think-
remember buying a frame of plastic Corn Berserkers because I wanted the chest plates to be able to put them on Space Marines, Space Wolves, because they had chains or they had bullet belts, which I thought was quite Space Wolf looking.
Yeah, it's good. And
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah, I did. I used to love that.
But that's when they could spin everything metal and it was relatively for how many they sold versus how many they were fast.
It was cool when you could go there and they go, we haven't got that in stock. Can you come back on Thursday and we'll have
Yeah.
made some for you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
could almost have Forge World made on demand.
Yeah.
You could go up and go, I want this, and they go, oh, we haven't got one.
Yeah.
We'll get one
Light
made
the
for-
fires.
Yeah.
Jeff wants a dragon.
Yeah.
I feel like Forge World's days are a little bit numbered.
Well,
As-
they're
as a
becoming
brand,
homogenized, isn't it?
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it matters. They're still going to sell us the stuff.
Yeah.
The
Like
days will only be numbered once you can go out there and buy your plastic,
Yeah.
buy your plastic Titan.
I think if
Yeah.
Forge World wanted to survive at this point, Forge World should become the creative as a brand anyway. Forge World really should be the more creative outlet and go back to doing look Darren Latham, look how popular he 3D sculpted a bust.
Yeah.
Printed it out, painted it. It was for a competition, and just went, "This is for me. It's not getting released." If that got released by Games Workshop, Forge World as a resin cast,
Yeah.
would you buy one? You'd buy one. You'd buy one.
Yeah.
I'd buy 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so would you,
Yeah.
because you'd paint
Yeah.
one, you'd screw it up, you'd be like, I want to do that again, because it's just
Yeah.
it's a fun other thing, and then you go, okay, well, could we do that with Eldar? Could we have a bust competition in game?
Yeah.
thingy?
In like a category for
Yeah.
busts. Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
how mad Titus Space Marine Collector's Edition sold out because that had
Oh,
the
yes.
half Titus busts in it.
He's
Yeah.
he's like in a pool of blood or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
fighting
exactly.
home
Yeah.
time against
Yeah.
the home against or something.
Yeah, you can't do a lot, you can't do loads, but for your big scale vehicles, for your special vehicles, and your thingy, and get some busts in there.
Yeah.
That'd be great, something fun. But yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing I was going to say back at the beginning, it almost comes around full circle now, is you say, I wish Games Workshop had would go back to how they were back then. But actually, when I got back into this hobby around 2015, 16, the way they're presenting things now are more like that. It's for me, it was you'd have a little something, not necessarily every week. In fact, you used to get White Dwarf every week, but I don't think you got a release every week like we do now with 5 or 6 games a year. Back then, it was oh my God, they're re-releasing Space Hulk. Get to the shop and buy it, and that was an event, and you'd have 3 or 4 of those a year.
Yeah.
Not every other week's an event, and then it was going along and trudging along, and everyone was I was doing my little blog, and a few people were doing things. Taylor Painters was where you'd go and get your painting guides. Duncan was on the telly, you know, back in those days. And then you'd have all that, and then COVID happened, and then boom, they got big just around the time that all these all their releases got knocked back. Like there were delays and delays and
true.
delays.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh God, they're going to have to play catch up. And it feels like we've only just come out of the breathing space of that catch up of like, okay, finally. And this reveal that's like, oh, it's not good enough isn't bad. It's just more like, well, this is what normal is, guys. This is what normal was before COVID hit us, because we're only, let's be fair, we're only a couple of years out the back end of it still.
Yeah.
You know, and they're still following on from that, and this may just be normal. So perhaps it's good they've got some breathing space, and now we can be a bit wider and creative. But they already know what they're releasing in 2026, because like we said, it's 18 months to 2 years ahead in it. So I hope it's good, guys, because otherwise we're going to hate it like we do the Blood Angels.
That's it. Like we said last week, they're just holding all the new releases back to put nipples on them.
That's it. Yeah. They're like, oh, that's what we need.
Yeah.
They had Space Wolves next, but they realised not enough nipples on those Wolfguard Terminators, which they need to get right.
On, don't they?
Yeah.
We need assault terminators first, otherwise Jeff's going to flip the table.
That's the bit where, like, when it was like, okay, so we are getting assault terminators, right, in the Blood Angels, and it looks like probably not.
When are they? The question's got to be: is they don't bring anything out just as a thing on its own, do they?
Yeah.
So what's going to be the event that creates assault terminators?
Yeah.
Don't know who would. I mean, Wolfguard could.
It could be Space Wolves.
Because let's be fair, what are the coolest assault terminator weapons?
Lightning claws.
Claws, yeah, easily.
Yeah.
It's not even hard. It's like, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
So we need something. Wolves, they've got claws, lightning claws, brilliant, and then they could come out for anything. But I swear to God,
But if they wolfied the, like, they're gonna people get frustrated when I say, oh, wolf. If they're gonna wolfie them up, if they're gonna Viking them up, like, because Wolfguard Terminators, they have the pelts and stuff on, don't they, and all that kind of thing. Like, assault Terminators have to be generic.
Yeah,
they'll be
so they
generic,
can fit into everything, right?
They'll be generic, but there'll be a new Space Wolf upgrade sprue.
No. Yeah, that.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get...
Because that's what... But the issue is with that, which is like the Wolfguard, again, you get all the pelts and everything. The Terminator upgrade sprues are just a torso.
Yep.
That's literally it.
Yes.
So...
That's what you'll get. There will be... And that's
if it's
the problem.
That for Space Wolves, that's an issue. Yeah.
It was that for Blood Angels. Why are you expecting more? It will be
You
that
don't even
for
get
Dark
enough. You don't even get
Angels.
enough shoulder pads to do all your Terminators.
In fact, it was that for Dark... No, Dark Angels was good, wasn't it?
No, Dark
It was
Angels,
okay.
again, you got a torso, but it had like a couple of little bits on it. Yeah.
But the leg bit was... Because it was the normal Terminator sprue, and they're here.
Yeah, they're there. So if you look at the guys with the swords, you got an arm with a sword for the Terminators.
Oh, God, this is scary.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh.
If you haven't watched Pat's video on...
Yeah,
on these
everyone
yet,
said
make
he
sure you
wanted
watch
an
it.
army reveal. It is by
here you go,
Here's
brilliant.
the army reveal, yeah.
So you got Belisarius, we'll not count him.
Yeah.
Um,
So the sergeants, the sergeants...
Yeah.
No, so they're not upgrade sprues, they're Deathwing Knights.
Oh, right, okay.
So the upgrade sprues are the normal Terminators, but he has a sword in his hand, a silver sword. Yeah. So that is the Deathwing Dark Angels upgrade sprue. So you get the molded shoulder pads.
Right, so
you
it's
get,
a molded
plasma
shoulder
guns.
pad.
Yeah, you
a
get
couple of plasma guns. One bolter with a feather on it, or did you add the feather?
No, one bolter with a feather on, yeah.
So I think that's the problem. That's what we'll get, but the Deathwing Knights is the sprue we want.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we wanted for
she's
Blood
gonna need to
Angels
go
as
out.
well.
Yeah, I think she needs a loot, doesn't she? Should we wrap this up?
Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Because the dog is walking
Yeah.
around in circles.
Yes, yeah, she is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's looking at us as if to go, for the love of God, someone take me out for a
Okay.
week.
Thanks for listening to us waffle, everyone. It's been great.
Well, it's been nice. It's a nice waffle
It's nice
catch
to
up
be
because
back.
we've
Yeah.
been rostless for quite a while. Haven't we?
Yes.
Nova was great. Sorry I didn't mention anyone who I met. Thank you all for coming to say hi while you were there. And oh my God, the Capital Palette Painting Competition. Jesus Christ, those entries had my jaw on the floor for like 4 days straight. So nice to meet you, everyone.
Thanks.
Hey.